All right, so colored pencil works best when it is layered and blended. So if you just color something one value, there's no change in dark and light, it looks pretty flat and, yeah, as I wrote on here, just boring. So at least if you put in a value range, light and dark with one color by like varying how hard you're pressing or doing more layers, that already looks more interesting. But ideally with colored pencil, you would have other colors blended into it. So you can use colors that are analogous, meaning side by side on the color wheel. So with the red, I mixed in some orange and like a little bit of yellow. And then you can also mix in the opposite color, like green is opposite of red, it's the complement. I mix in a little bit of green to make the shadow darker. So ideally with colored pencils, you would layer and blend. I have another sample here. This shows, you know, 1 layer, 2 layers, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the more layers you put, and you can change the direction with each layer, it'll get more solid looking and it kind of fills it in more even. So that's better than just pressing super hard. If you start off pressing really hard, it can kind of get to where it won't blend anymore. It almost engraves your paper. So it's better to build up layers and to blend colors than to just press super hard. So with the colored pencils, to do rendering, kind of the same thing I was telling you before. You want to do probably a circular mark, but you want to mix in some other colors. I know that yellow is really hard to see. I'm going to start mixing in some orange. So I'm making like that round mark, and if I want to fade one color into another color, you can like press a little bit harder and then you go medium. I'll do a little bit over here. I mean, I'm not pressing super hard, but like make it a little bit more dark, and then medium, and then light, kind of fade it out, and then you can take your other color and come back from the other direction. Like a little bit more solid, and then medium where they both mix, and then light. So that's how you can like fade it from one color into another. So I want you to try out getting like a smooth gradation between at least 2 different colors, trying to get dark and light by varying how many layers you put in, or you can, you can vary your pressure a bit. You can also try out, if you want, mixing in a little bit of the complement. So I know that blue is opposite orange on the color wheel. They are complementary colors. So I could mix in some blue to kind of start making the shadow. That can just be more interesting to mix in the complement than just adding black to make something darker. But yeah, you can use black for that. I'm going to go ahead and show you the next ones, and then you can go back and take your time on this. So cross-hatching, once again, lines, the further apart they are, the lighter it's going to read. But you're building it up with layers. You can also mix in different colors that way. Maybe I'll do a little green over here. Trying to get dark and light, trying to blend. I do have another example I want to show you. None of these colors are exactly blended, but they are layered with cross hatching. So I did kind of the contour hatching, like on the nose. I have lines that curve to make her nose look like it's rounded. Same thing like on the cheeks, I followed that there. But this has a lot of hatching and cross hatching to build up and make things darker and visually kind of mix, even though I'm not blending them. And I have one more example here I want to show you. This one's a little dirty, it got stepped on. But this was just a quick sketch with a purple colored pencil. And it's basically cross hatching, but it kind of blends with into a little bit of rendering. So, but I left some of the lines visible just because I like the style of it, and it kind of shows how I did that. So then go on and just try out scumbling. You know, you can try the same type of mark on each of these samples, or you can do a different one. I kind of have developed like a repeated mark that I make. And I do that a lot. Yep, yellow and orange are side by side on the color wheel, so that would work well together. And then stippling. Colored pencil, I think, makes even a smaller mark than graphite, so yeah, I don't use that very often because it would drive me crazy and take a long time.
Red and purple.
Sure. But just so you understand that the closer the dots are together, the more solid it looks. So that is a technique that you can use.